genesis of this whole exercise began from the time of Justice Adeline Bamford, when we all felt that the time has come into this fourth republic to look for a suitable place for Parliament. Remember, even before her, we had secured a parcel of land around Trasacco, which was going to be developed into a parliamentary enclave. Along the line, the land got breached and various people entered that parcel that had been earmarked for that parliamentary village. And so we then came back and tried then to concentrate on developing this enclave. That is how come we started with the refurbishment of the Justice complex to serve as offices for members of Parliament. The process was fast-tracked under Right Honorable Justice Joyce Adeline Bamford, and we started the refurbishment at the time. Alongside it was this discussion on the construction of a new chamber facility. Why? Because as a people, we recognize that there are three arms of government: the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. The executive have their own enclave. The judiciary have their own enclave. It is only Parliament, as an arm of government, that doesn't have its own enclave. Where we are sitting now, the whole of this land, you will know, is for state protocol and not for Parliament. The Justice complex, even after refurbishment, still remains the name of state protocol. That is the executive and not Parliament. So we are doing a couple of things together. In fact, we started with President Kufuor, through President Mills and President John Mahama. Up to now, we want to secure these presidents for Parliament. We are still working on that. We have not been able to achieve that. Now, since independence, Parliament used to have a parliamentary structure that predated our independence, and it came to be used after independence as the Parliament House. At the time, the number of people there was 104. That structure itself initially housed about 56 members of the Legislative Council that preceded independence. As said, after independence, they continued to use it. When the number came to be increased from 104 to 200 in the Fourth Republic, it became obvious that that facility could no longer host the 200-member Parliament. And so you will recall that the swearing in of the first Parliament in the Fourth Republic happened in the conference center, the International Conference Center. And then this facility that we are using now, which used to be the nation's conference center before the construction of the International Conference Center, then got refurbished to accommodate the 200 members at the time. So I think about a year or so into the first Parliament of the Fourth Republic, they migrated to the then refurbished chamber. 2004, the number got increased again from 200 to 230. Then we needed to expand the central arena to be able to accommodate the additional 30 members, which was what was done at the time. It then exposed the process of refurbishment, exposed the columns, the pillars in the house. 20 12. Another addition of 45 to 275 now. And again, a further expansion of the arena, the debating arena. That then meant a full exposure of the pillars, to the extent that now there are members of parliament sitting by the pillars who are not able to attract the attention and indeed catch the eye of the speaker. And for that matter, the speaker is not able to recognize them, and identify them to speak. And you guys are the same people who are saying to us that there are some members of parliament who are dumb. They don't speak. Some of them cannot be identified by the speaker. And sometimes we see that some of them, if they have to speak, they have to migrate to the front benches to be identified by the speaker. And that even poses a difficulty for the Hansard people. Because you know, the various microphones have been configured in the names of those people who should encumber those seats. So the Hansard people sometimes struggle to identify the speakers. And there are cases when ascriptions have been made to some members who perhaps were not even in the chamber, because others used their microphones to speak. That itself is a problem. You would see that because we have had to increase the number to 275, there's serious encroachment on space, such that even the walkways now have become extremely narrow, such that perish the thoughts if there should be any unfortunate incident which would require the rushing out or the emptying of the chamber, and people have to rush out. If you're not careful, it may result in a serious stampede, which may even perhaps result in the death of some members. You don't want to wait until such a thing happens. Now, the design of our chamber is in a horseshoe format. The configuration of the debating chamber should be such that nobody will be impeded. I'm talking about visually, if the person wants to make a point. It's the reason why the architecture of any chamber is just like maybe the covered terraces of a stadium, because people should be sitting down and should be able to see whatever is happening in the arena, on the park, on the playing field. The same principle affects the design of Parliament. So, colleagues, you have these, and we want really to overcome them.